Hi everyone, it's Clarice here with our Dumb Movie Show, and today's film is none other than the latest from the Conjuring universe. It's a prequel, it's a spin-off, it's The Nun! And basically what we're getting here is something very similar to Annabelle. It's an origin story for one of the supernatural beings of the Conjuring films, and also very similar to Annabelle, this movie's kind of a dud. These spin-offs do feel like an afterthought, just a way to fill in the gap until James Wan can come back to make another of the main Conjuring films, and I do think that he has offered something unique to modern horror, which is the ability to make these mainstream, widely appealing films like Insidious, like The Conjuring, that still have an eccentric, nightmarish, almost high gothic flavor to them. You know, I always think of that scene in Insidious when you're in the demon's lair and he's sharpening his claws, and how surprisingly adventurous that is. And so I think these spin-offs struggle. You know, The Nun is directed by Corin Hardy, by the way, but I think they struggle because they can't really capture that vibe, but they also fail to establish their own voice. Okay, so a little background here. The Nun within the Conjuring universe actually refers to the demon Valak, who was the main villain of The Conjuring 2. That film covered the real-life case of the Enfield poltergeist, and the film claimed that it was Valak who was behind the haunting. But more crucially, we also saw Valak appear to Vera Farmiga's Lorraine Warren as a demonic nun. So this film is supposed to just, you know, fill in a little bit of Valak's own history. And so flashback to 1952 Romania, a Catholic priest played by Damien Bashir and a novitiate played by Thaisa Farmiga are sent to investigate a suicide at a local abbey. Of course, there's more to the story here, and as it turns out, the abbey has a connection to Valak, and Valak ain't happy. Let's investigate the creepy abbey sounds like fairly rich territory for a horror film, and you know, although the majority of nuns are very kind and considerate, I think there's still something essentially creepy about them. I think anyone who grew up Catholic can probably attest to that, you know? It's all about that inscrutable sense of authority, but you know, it feels like The Nun is barely trying, and it is dull and borderline annoying to see the same scare mechanic repeated ad nauseum, and it is the exact same idea. Every scare will be, oh, look over there, what is that person-shaped sheet? Is it a nun in her habit? Or is it some kind of demonic thing? Oh, what was that noise behind me? Oh, but there's nothing there. Oh no, and now the person-shaped sheet is gone. I really hope they haven't suddenly appeared right behind me. This whole film is just that same scene repeated ad nauseum with no real respite in between, which causes two problems. First off, the level of tension is kept so constant that you become very quickly acclimatized to it, and it becomes pretty boring. And the second problem is that there's no room for narrative, no room for character development. As a die-hard American Horror Story fan, I was very much here for some Thaisa Farmiga action, but all she gets to do in this movie is just gawp at things, and her character is a novitiate who is a trainee nun yet to take her vows, and there's some suggestion in the film that, you know, she suffers from a conflict of beliefs, and yet why that is or how it resolves itself is so murky and vague. It's kind of a waste of time. And in terms of atmosphere, I think, you know, there is a level of visual interest from the fact we're in a big gothic abbey, but as I said before, there is so much more that could have been done here. And that's pretty much my takeaway, that just because it's a spin-off of The Conjuring doesn't mean this film should feel like such a time filler, a space filler, a quick money maker. And it's a shame because James Wan did introduce a sense of vision into the franchise, and it's just not being translated by other filmmakers. There's no real attempt to put their own stamp on it, to experiment a little bit, because I think horror is one of the safest genres in which to experiment, in which to take a few risks. And so it's just frustrating to see films like The Nun play it so safe. But if you've had a chance to see The Nun, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, details down in that description box. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out and talk about movies. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!